let's learn how to actually use Blender in this really quick crash course. So to start off, let's create a new folder and name it Blender Files so that we can keep track of all of our projects. To open Blender, we can go to our side taskbar and click on Blender, or we can click Command Space and type in Blender and click Enter. This is Blender, and this is what we will be using. Let's create a new project by clicking on General under New File. This is our viewport. This is where we can see all of the 3D objects in our scene. You can rotate your view using your trackpad or mouse, like this. You can zoom in and out by holding the command button while scrolling. You can also align your view by using the widget in the top right corner or by using the numbers on your number pad on your keyboard. Hold Shift while using 2 fingers to scroll on your mouse or trackpad to move up, down, or side to side without rotating your view. We are in object mode right now. This allows us to move and rotate objects separately. But there's another mode that we can use called Edit mode that allows us to edit the object itself. We can switch to Object or Edit mode by using the top left drop-down or by clicking Tab when selecting an object. To create a new object, we can click Shift and A and choose from the many objects in the menu. We just created a new sphere. This is how you add objects in Blender. There are also multiple viewing modes, like Material Preview to see the color of your objects, Wireframe to see the basic vertices, Rendered to see the final image, and Solid to see the actual shape. You can access this menu by clicking Z. You can use A to select all objects in your scene, Shift A to add a new object, Tab to switch between Edit and Object mode, G to grab an object and move it, R to rotate an object, S to scale an object. While performing a transformation in an object, you can snap it to an axis by clicking X, Y, or Z, depending on which one you want to snap it to. You can also snap it to a specific measurement by using Control while doing the action. We can enter the Modeling tab by clicking on Modeling in the top menu bar. Here is the toolbar. This has all the tools that you would need when modeling. Click 1 on your keyboard to enter vertex mode. This way you can move around vertices. 2 switches to edge mode, and 3 switches to face mode. To delete something, select it by clicking on it and then click X and choose what you want to delete. To divide a face or edge, use Command R and then scroll to choose how many divisions you want. This is called loop cuts. To bevel an edge, select it and then click Command B on your keyboard. To inset a face, select your face and then click I. To extrude a vertex, face, or edge, select it and then click E. Once you click down, you've created your extrusion. To create a new face, select all the vertices by shift-clicking on them or dragging and selecting, and then click F. The Shading tab is located in the middle of the top menu bar. This is where we can color our objects. To the right, we have our properties. Click on the Materials button to open the Materials tab. These have more options for your objects, materials, and colors. By clicking on Surface, you can choose between the different types of shaders. We're going to go over this in detail later, but for now, you know where it is. These boxes you see over here are called nodes. You can use these to create textures and images that you can put onto your models. We will go over this more later, but for now, try changing the base color to change the color of your model. You can also mess around with the metallic and roughness levels of your materials. They affect how your object looks in your environment. Remember that you can also do all of this in your Properties window. To create a new material, you can click on the plus button. Here we're making another material. But how do we add this to our cube? We can go to the Modeling tab and switch to Material Preview to see our materials. Switch to Face mode and select the faces you want to color. Go back to Materials in Properties and click Assign. This assigns the face the color that you have chosen. Let's go back to the Layout tab. If you pull up this window, you get your animation timeline. On the top right, you have the starting and ending frames, which you can adjust to how you want. To create a keyframe, select your object and click I. This will create a little diamond. Go to a different frame and then move your object. Click I again and create a new keyframe. The computer will automatically scrub between the two different keyframes. You can move keyframes by clicking on them and then using G. You can scale keyframes by shift-clicking and then clicking S. You can select all of your keyframes with the A button, and to delete them, hit X. You can add a camera by clicking Shift-A and choosing Camera. This camera shows and dictates what's visible on your screen when you render your animation. Click on View, Align View, and align Active Camera to View to make your camera set where you are looking. If instead of aligning the camera to your view, you want to see what the camera is seeing, click on Viewport and then Camera, or use the 0 on your numpad. You can move your camera around using the same controls that you can use on objects. Once you're ready to render an image, click on the Render option in your Properties. Select Cycles from Render Engine. We'll go over the different render engines later. Before rendering, make sure to have lighting in your environment. Click Shift-A and look under Light to get lighting. This is a sun. You can move it around by clicking on the yellow dot and dragging. Let's change to rendered view so we can see what the camera's going to see. Now let's click on Output under Properties. This is your resolution for your image that we will produce. Here is your frame rate and your frame start and end. You can change these to whatever settings you would like for your animation or render frame. Scrolling down, you can find your output area. Click on that folder icon to choose where you want to output your images or render to. Here is your file format. We usually render to PNG. Before rendering, you might want to change the gray background. Click on World under Properties and change the color to your liking. This changes the background in your render. To actually render an image, click on the Render tab and choose Render Image. You can choose Animation once you're done with your entire animation. This is the render view. This is rendering our animation or image. We can save this by clicking on Image and clicking Save As after it's done. Now you are an expert in the basics of Blender. You can use this knowledge to literally anything you make. Have fun inventing and see you next time.